Hello and welcome back to the Art of Being Indigenous. For those of you who do not know, my name is �々𝘰𝘮𝘀𝘆, and on this show, I try to basically unify different Indigenous nations, try to bridge that gap, and I like to showcase different Native artists. And for non-Natives, I also like to bring more perspective and also hopefully inform our non-Native viewers as well. So hi, Quai, how are you doing today?
Hi, how are you? It's going good.
Fun fact, I actually just received her earrings that she just beaded. They literally came like in under 24 hours.
Literally mailed it yesterday.
It was so fast. I was like, what? Like, a good beater and she's fast? Wow. Like, you can't beat that.
Big kudos to the postal workers. They save lives, literally.
So let's get a little bit more of info and let's get to know you a bit more. So, how did you get started? What made you come up with the idea of the clothing line?
So the clothing line actually was a combination of me and my cousin, Ashkee Skyeyes. We both had the same idea, same feelings about something that should represent us East Coast natives, because we go to like all the powwows all over, and we just needed a little more representative of us Eastern woodland tribes and our Eastern nations. We just need a little more rep out there in the Indian country.
Absolutely. Now, what nation are you from?
I am from the Narragansett Nation, right here in Rhode Island, Charlestown. And we are a strong, proud people, I'll tell you that much.
Yes, we are. The cultural revitalization, it truly is.
Really is.
We're just going. We know we got our language, the culture, dance, all of it. It's all still here.
Still here, even though a lot of people think we're not. Still here, holding down.
Absolutely. So my second question to you, so you can also bead. What kind of items do you bead, and do you do custom work?
So I bead earrings, mainly earrings. To me, I like, I got my indigenous creature earrings on, my Sasquatch. I love earrings. I love big earrings because, us Native moms, us moms in general, us Native women, we're busy. We're always on the go. So I feel like if you just, whip your hair up, you get a nice bun or anything quick, you just throw on a nice flashy pair of earrings, you're good to go. They'll be looking at a nice ear candy. Anything else.
About the earrings, it's like, I don't really feel like dressing up today, but as soon as you get those pair of earrings on, it's like
they dress it up for you.
So when did you start beading?
I started beading about 17, a little late for some people. And I just wanted to learn how to bead because I always wanted beadwork. I always admired all the hard work that went into it. And I just wanted to try my hand at this sacred craft.
See if you could do it.
Right.
Like, oh, that was so beautiful. Then you try to do it. You're like, I can't even get a straight line with my.
Yeah. Those early days are definitely a struggle. I always look back at my old beadwork and some of the first things, and I'm like, I posted that? I sold it? Wow. I had some good support systems back then and still do. Yeah, I always just wanted to have my own beadwork, and looking into the actual price of it and all the work that went into it, I was like, it might be a little easier if I can bead and make it myself. That way I know what I want, I can make what I want and use the colors and everything, and be a little easier.
Ooh, I think keyword here is easy, because beadwork is not easy.
It's not easy, but there's a lot of shades, and somebody else's red or somebody else's blue isn't the same color that you're thinking or you're envisioning. So you're like, And then like once you bead something, it's really hard to like unbead it. You can't like erase it, and you gotta start all over.
Yeah. Because once you I get what you're saying, you know, from a beater to another beater, it's like start that big, and it's hard to visualize something of that same thing.
Like other person's creativity, like your creativity is different from my creativity, and it's hard to match that sometimes.
Now, are you self-taught?
I'll say yes and no, because I definitely watched a lot of beaters, and I got little tricks and tips from them along the way, and then I kind of like put it together, and I was like, all right, like I kind of get what they're meaning, not offhand. It took me a minute to get it, you know, a lot of mistakes from trial and error, but I finally got the hang of it in my own way. So it's kind of yes and no.
Kind of a mixture, which is really nice. So you also dance Eastern blanket.
Yep.
How have you been dancing that?
Eastern blanket shirt on.
Yes.
Yeah, I've danced Eastern blanket for a long time. A long time. Of course I did it. I won't say I did the Eastern blanket, but you know, all the tiny tot age and like the juniors, you always get your first dress as like a buckskin dress, and you get like a little shawl, a little blanket or something to throw over your shoulder. So I did it for tiny tots, and then I got to the tween years where I wanted to do fancy. Tried my hand. Everyone got to try to do fancy. We all love the colors. We wanted to, you know, be out there and twirling and sharing our fancy stories. And then I learned about the dance. My grandmother told me. She's like, we are Eastern women. We do Eastern blanket. We keep our, you know, traditions alive. And I come from a big family of Eastern blanket dancers. You know, the Brown family. That's my grandmother's maiden name. She was like one of the first women to be a blanket dancer. A lot of cousins, a lot of her nieces are Eastern blanket dancers, and now she has grandchildren that are Eastern blanket dancers, great nieces, great nieces, great grandchildren. So trying to do our ancestors and our elders proud.
Yes, you're doing an amazing job. Sure. So can you tell us a bit more about the significance of the dance? Like what behind it?
So as I was taught, you know, it was a coming of age dance. Young girls, like back in the day, they would become of age to court. And as the story was told, they would work very hard on a blanket, you know, making it and making their own story and weaving and crafting and creating a beautiful blanket. And then once they found a partner that they would like to court and talk to, it would come time, you know, the gathering season or like a powwow or social or some sort. And, you know, they would show off their blanket, show off their craft, you know, their craftsmanship. And if they liked the guy that they liked, they would lay it out in front of him, kind of like, hey, this is my work, this is me, I'm just letting you know that I'm interested in a way. And that could be portrayed in like other different ways, like, because like the specific story like I kind of tell is kind of like a coming of age, you know, because when I do certain moves, I do it like we're holding a baby, so like we were a baby, and then now we're coming out into our own person, our own woman, kind of like the picture on here, you know, like we're just letting everyone know, like, hi, I'm here.
Yeah.
This is me. This is what you're gonna get. You know, everyone does have a different story. Everyone has a little different story about the blanket dance. I don't do so much of the courtship one, like, or the courtship way. I just do like this is me, this is 𝘋𝘢𝘮𝘮, and I'm just showing off my blanket, which is the blanket behind me. She's held in there for a lot of years. So that's kind of my story about it. You're kind of just showing like the woman you are and like how you are going to be like with different moves. Like I like to do, I guess you call it like a cape, like, the Superman cape, you'd say, where I put it over my shoulders. I do different moves, like, and I always do everything from one side. I copy it on the other side.
Yep.
Kind of like a way of balance.
Right. That's a very universal concept for all of the dances, actually.
Yeah, you gotta do what you do on this side, you gotta do on that side, and always honor the 4 directions, honor the elders, always give grace and be humble to those before us.
Of course. And I always say dancing is healing.
Very
style it is our way of healing. As dancers, and we also have sort of a responsibility, for dancing for others. And, there's a lot of people that aren't in the circle, and some I'm like, why aren't you in the circle? Oh,
Yeah. Story, but it's like,
yeah. But yeah, so I personally believe, I think that we should, get more people out there. I think that as culture bearers like you and I think that it's definitely important to continue those traditions and definitely teach others about the meanings of the dances. I think that's especially important because, again, we want to carry on those traditions and really help the youth understand, why we're doing the dances.
Yeah. They definitely gotta, because it's especially in this time and age, a lot of everything's on social media, everything's online. So it's definitely good to do such projects, or do podcasts. This is new for me. Not that I'm that old, but I always feel old with like technology.
Yeah.
But it's good that they see us, because like we really are role models to younger ones, because they always think everything's about the fast life and all about the party, which everything has a balance. You got to do everything equal. You got to balance it out the best you can, and also you gotta keep in mind that there's always another generation, and we want to pass that on to the next generation and let them not get so lost in the colonized world, we'll say.
Yes, definitely. Would you say that the popularity of the dance has increased?
Definitely. It definitely has increased by a lot. I should say, like, powwow terms, as far as like category. I started like dancing competition, I guess you'd say, in the powwows at 13, teenager years. Kind of like the little big, like that was like real competition in a sense. Not everyone's getting a prize. Ain't getting no goodie bags, which I think we still need as adults. We still need candy bags. I would like to have a candy, a snack, a treat. Have like something to snack on versus, after a dance, like, let me get some Gatorade or get something. And I remember there was just like a little handful of us. There was just like at least 6 of us that started at 13, and you go out there, you get in the circle and you look around and we're like, oh, like, we're ready, guys, like, it's our turn. You'd be all excited. And it was just a few of us. So like we all had our little Eastern blanket clique, and they used to do the team dance, and it was like all of us. We were like the only team in the teenage category. And then now at 30, now I'm in the adult category, and it's like there's 20 of us. There's like, wow, like they're almost to the stage where they have to like split into 2 groups of Eastern blanketins, which is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So I'm putting it out there. This year we need to get a full group picture. all the blankets. Like that's just a pretty thing to see when it started out with just a small handful of like 5 or 6 of us, and now it's 20. There was only like maybe 8. You know, it wasn't packed. Like the adult category wasn't packed at that time. And now, like I'll never forget it. I think last year at Green Corn, the Mashantucket Pequot powwow, �々𝘮𝘰, there was literally 20 of them.
Wow.
And I was like, I was trying to zigzag and maneuver around, and it's like, where did you guys come from? Like, wow, we're packed.
I think I remember what you're talking about, because as soon as you said, like, you know, oh yeah, that we might need display or whatever, I remember thinking, like, where did all these dancers come from? Like, they, you know, like before COVID, they weren't always there.
No, like, and even before then, like, even before COVID, like I'm going years back. Like I said, I'm 30 now. I'm going years back to when it was myself, my cousin Ashkee, my cousin Autumn. There was an Eastern Pequot girl, 𝘱𝘰, and there was another Eastern Pequot girl named Nikki, and that was it. There was like us 5, and then for a minute my cousin 𝘋𝘢𝘳𝘺𝘭, she was in the category, but she was a little bit older than us, so she was kind of, by the time we were 13, she was like 17, so she was like kind of progressing to the adults. And then also we had like Amanda, she was from the Mohegan tribe, and a few cousins from the Pequot tribe, but you know, they didn't, like, we all weren't at the same powwows at the same time, so it was always like 5 or 6 of us, you know. And I want to say maybe at 𝘋𝘮𝘮 there would be at least 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And like that was like the big powwow, you know, like, oh, like we made it, like this is like, you know, 𝘋𝘮𝘮 back in the day, if you ever know about it.
Oh yeah.
Huge tent, big football field, dance arena. They had the rodeo going on, they had trophies, they had spotlight dances. Y'all gotta bring back them spotlight dances. I like them spotlight dances. I didn't need no trophy. I just wanted a spotlight.
That's funny. I remember specifically, you know, when I was young, I used to, you know, ask my grandson, I want one of those jackets. Because you
want a jacket. On the way into it, it's gone. Like,
I don't know.
The best winter coat. It was the best. Like, I'd be set up for the next winter. I'm like, I got a coat. Because they used good giveaways. Also, y'all got to give out some good giveaways. Put my Mashantucket people, if y'all ever see this, I want some good giveaways. I'm not mad at what we're getting, but I need a coat.
Yep. That's one day I'm gonna get one of those jackets, and now that one day is not here because they don't have the jackets anymore.
I'm telling you, when everybody came, so you would actually like drink took at least like an hour or 2.
It
just to get through all the dances, just to get them all in the arena, and the arena was like the size of a football field.
To be honest with you, I almost feel like that was like the gathering of the nations of that time.
Yeah.
And now with gathering of nations, we all know it's like the biggest, largest powwow in the world. And that was 𝘋𝘮𝘮𝘮. That's where everyone would go to 𝘋𝘮𝘮𝘮. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The food vendors. Oh my God, there were so many food vendors. I still didn't get to go to half of them. I'm mad about that. I missed out on a lot of good food.
Yeah, the food that's why we powwows, for the food.
I'm there for the food. I'm there for food and snacks. So, you know, again, I'm looking to all these arena directors that may be seeing this, powwow committees. I maybe give us adults some goodie bags.
Yes. It'd make our day, make our weekend.
Yeah, put a little snack or something there, a little candy, little fruit, something, you know what I mean? Maybe not candy. We don't need no candy. We'll be all hyped up like them kids.
Oh, well, we needed the energy. Well, you need one now for your little one. You know what I mean? You need the.
She don't need no candy. I have a 3-year-old. This girl is energy. Like, right now I can hear her. Like, I am in my room, but she is running around the house. I can hear the footsteps. She is busy, and I kudos to my parents. They are right now keeping her occupied, and God, that girl got some energy. She's ready for powwow. She needs to run around that circle and be just like all the other kids.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your daughter, now, are these traditions something that you want to pass down to her?
Most definitely, yeah. Definitely gotta, pass them down to her, and just, it's like a way of home, like knowing where you are, where you come from. Because like my dad, he is an avid, like true to the bone native. This dude is outside all day, every day, um, always hunting, always trying to go fishing, building, crafting, farming, um, does it all. I was taught how to hunt, how to go fishing, how to do both. I had to be my dad's son and my mom's girl. So definitely a good thing to have. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to be well balanced and to know how to like live off the land, and you know it's definitely one of those things that I am gonna pass down to my daughter, because she needs to be a rough, tough girl as well, living in the crazy world, and you know things you need to learn how to like take care of yourself and
Right.
survive.
Yeah, I have no doubt she's going to be a strong young lady,
Oh yeah.
very much like yourself. Um, Now, will you regularly vend at powwows, and is this something you also wish to pass down to her?
Yeah, I should say I want to try to vend at powwows. Again, with crafting and beading, everything comes with time. Definitely want to try to get out there more, try to vend at some things. I just vended at the �々𝘬𝘬𝘪𝘢𝘭 Museum strawberry Thanksgiving festival little event that they had, and it's always nice. It's always nice to be able to see people. It's nice to see like people wearing your stuff and like seeing like, oh wow, like it made it that far. And now with the new brand Eastern Nations, that was our first vending event, and we did very well. Like we got our product out there. A lot of people were liking our designs, because our designs are very home to Eastern tribes. Like I said, our Eastern tribes, like Northeast tribes, I should say. Like, we have the blanket dance. Like, there's at least several blanket dancers in Mashpee, Pequot, Eastern Pequot, Mohegan, Shinnecock, and of course Narragansett, and all those tribes in between. We got blanket dancers out there, as well as one of our other designs. We have the �々𝘬𝘀 dancer, which is a pipe dance, the peace pipe dance that the men do and the men partake in, and they do it at all those powwows. So it's something that a lot of, like, if you don't know, now type thing. And so we have that design for our guys as well as our women. So we just try to keep everything, Eastern style, something that means something to all of us Eastern tribes. So we're trying to get it out there, trying to do a little more vending, and we're preparing to set up at August meeting.
Nice.
Also, we're gonna try to get some of our stuff as well as Eastern Nations and beadwork by Quai. You can get it at the �々𝘬𝘬𝘀 Museum, and soon to be at the Pequot Museum.
Okay. Oh, you're going in there too. That's
So
excellent.
we're trying. We got to get the math right. We got to get the math right. We got to get get what they want. Because obviously you got to have room. You can't just load up someone else's shop. So we're trying to get it out there, spread it out.
That's great. Well, good luck with that. That would be perfect, actually, for them to have in there. And it would definitely generate more income for sure.
Yeah.
Great for both parties.
Yeah, gotta walk the world. You gotta have a little bit of income and as well share and spread awareness.
Right. Yeah, because 𝘋𝘢𝘳𝘺, they do have a lot of different events there at the museum. I mean, every week I feel like there's something big going on. And
yeah, I think I want to say I think this weekend they're having their strawberry Thanksgiving. But obviously with crafting, you need time to get inventory.
Right.
To go to all these events. And especially if you're like a small business with no employees really, it's just like something that you do kind of like as a hobby. Now you're trying to break into the business world. It just takes time. It just takes time to press shirts, to get because we also have tumblers. Where's my camera? We have tumblers, so it takes time to get these in and get these right. There it is.
I love it. Cool.
So things just take time. So we won't be at the 𝘋𝘢𝘳𝘺 Thanksgiving, strawberry Thanksgiving. But maybe I do think they have like a educational powwow. It's always fun dancing at the museum. It's a little beat, but
yes,
but it's always great. Like it's always fun to educate people, native, non-natives. It's always fun to educate.
Right. Yeah, I think we both very much understand, how important it is to educate, especially where we're from geographically. I think that it makes more sense to have more educational powwows for sure. I feel like out west, they're becoming more well known, and it's a lot easier for them to be acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
Versus here, it's like they think we're completely gone, and that is a big difference between out there and here. Is that here we just have enough resources available to the public. So again, I think it's really important to have people like you, people like me out there just, showing our face, getting out there and just educating those who don't know a lot about Eastern Native people.
Yeah.
We're very different from, Navajo Nation, from we still do things very differently. So I think, again, it's just,
everything has to be like brought to awareness.
Right. How do you think money has changed our culture?
I think money has changed culture a lot as far as like powwows per se, or just events in general. Nobody really wants to do anything out of like the kindness of their heart, or as far as wanting to just spread culture, which is kind of sad. Everybody wants to check. They want to get paid for something, and it's like, that's not the way of our people as far as like doing small things. I know me and my cousin, we had tried to do a culture day for our tribe, and we had a couple good events that turned out fun. It was kind of like there was no money involved. It was just out of like our own pockets, out of our own kindness of our hearts, out of us wanting to get our kids together and show our kids their cousins, because COVID did have a big impact on my child's life, because she didn't get to grow up like I did with her cousins in those early years, and she didn't get to go to all these powwows and events at a young age. So she's kind of a little like, she's like a little suspect on them. She kind of like doesn't really get the whole like, what is this now that we're allowed to have powwows again? So we tried to have events, and we tried to ask different people to like come, like, hey, just show up, like just bring food, kind of like a potluck idea. Like, hey, like we're trying to have culture day. If you want to bring a drum, bring a drum. If you want to tell a story, just come, show out. And get these kids together so they can know who their family is, and they can have those same connections that we have. Because I know when I was younger, we had a lot of family fun days, and a lot of different like events where all of us cousins from like all different walks of life got together, and those are great moments, and then like times that I remember in life, you know, growing up, hanging out with cousins. And now we have kids, and now we're like, we want to get these kids together and play so they'll have lifelong friends as well as family. And we just get shut down a lot because, you know, different people that we asked, they didn't want to do it because they weren't getting paid. And it was just one of those things, like, to see that was kind of sad.
Yeah.
But you know, we gonna get past that. As you know, like, we're gonna still keep teaching our kids. We're gonna still keep trying to get our kids together. We're gonna keep trying to get them at the pond, and get them at these powwows and get more events started. Regardless if people try to stop us, we're gonna keep going.
Right. I think it's really important to stay dedicated, and regardless of anyone, and whoever says, oh, you know, no this, no that, no just means no, not right now, but we'll find
Yeah.
another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
One door closes, there's a window open.
yeah,
Gonna keep
there's a way to get around it, to work at it and just keep carrying on and continuing the tradition. I think that's extremely important. As I definitely admire like how dedicated you are, because again, we are people like that, and just our Eastern nations. I think that we could really use a lot more people who are truly dedicated to continuing those traditions.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, I feel like our age group, we're like, you know, we're not gonna just settle, in a sense. Like, we're not gonna just keep on going with what's going on. We're not just gonna be quiet. Like, we've seen what went on, like, with our parents age group, and you know, and now, like, I feel like every generation gets a little more intermingled, a little more intertribal. We'll say, you know, a lot of these kids nowadays come from two tribes. I feel like when you have kids with another tribe, you create a new tribe. So it's like everyone now is related, some way, some shape or forms. Everybody's related through someone, and we just got to come together as a better community, and definitely just keep teaching, keep the teachings going, hang on to those old traditions, and teach the next generation so they can teach the next 7 generations.
Right. Now, what is your ultimate goal with your business?
So the ultimate goal is to do this full time, where I don't have to like work, you know, outside my own work, and be able to powwow and vend and create enough stuff to go inside of these museums and different shops, because I feel like now is a time where a lot of Indigenous businesses are getting recognized, and it's like for lack of a better word, it's time to like jump on that and like keep it going. You know, like, we're getting more awareness in the world, and it's good. You know, like, it's good awareness. We got to keep it going, and got to keep using it to strive better and just do it full time. You know, like I say, different people ask, can non-natives buy native jewelry? Now, speaking about my own jewelry, yeah, like, I don't mind if anyone buys a non-native buys a pair of earrings. Like, that's great. You know, let people know where you got it from.
Right. Yeah, I get asked that question a lot too. Yes, it's definitely not offensive if you buy it from a native artist. I do think about those that do culturally appropriate, and you know, they create jewelry out of, say, wampum, for example. They get jewelry out of that, and they have an entire business, and they say it's native inspired, but they, you know what I mean, and then they not actually native. Yeah, that's where, you know what I mean? And what it is, it's people getting a fascination for wampum. They can't believe how beautiful it is, blah, blah, blah. Thing is, they're now creating a business out of it, which is where it's not right. It's not okay to do. But it is okay if you turn around and you say, oh, I love beadwork. I love that. It is okay for you to do it, you know, say you want to pick it up and on your own time do it for yourself. That is perfectly fine. But to essentially just like sell the beadwork and do your own business and say it's native inspired, That's not okay.
Like Walmart and all these other different places like H&M, they have like beaded earrings. I'm like, how is this allowed? Like, this is crazy. So anyone out there, definitely buy something indigenous from an indigenous person.
Yes,
not just like a hobbyist trying to make money.
Right. Another quick thing about that too. Some may say, they may have a rebuttal for this and say, well, it's too expensive. So say if someone comes to you and they say, oh, your work is too expensive, what is your take on that? And how do you get your pricing, right? How do you get that?
I say with that, if people want to spend money at these designers, and give these designers that sell like a belt for like $1,000 just for a belt, that's not even handmade by one person. And if you can buy some ugly trash shoes or something from like a celebrity, just because a celebrity endorses it, you can pay like 60, 50, 80 to $100 for a pair of earrings that like I made. Like, I made them. I didn't, have somebody from like a third world country make earrings. It was me in my own little workshop I got going on, because I got crafts and I got my bead tray right here. So it's me. I'm always beading.
You and your little helpers that we don't see, they're invisible, right?
Yeah, I wish I had little helpers. I would just go to sleep and wake up and be like, oh, all right, you made it. That would be a dream. But, definitely I come up with my prices by like what I have to pay, truthfully, with beads. So like, and with that, I'm not trying to knock the bead people, the companies. But a hank of beads, there's a lot of beads in one hank. And again, I only make earrings, so I'm not using a full hank of beads to make one pair of earrings. I'm probably using about like a little bit. So I feel like I make my money back by like what I order. So if I spend $100 on a bead order, and then I sell like 4 or 5 pair of earrings at like $50 a piece, I definitely made my money back. And then I made money for my next bead order. So I'm not trying to get rich on anything. That's just me. I'm not trying to be rich. I'm just trying to see my work out there and make beadwork kind of affordable for some people like myself back in the day who couldn't afford like, $1,000 beadwork or, fully beaded sets and things, like I try to make it as affordable as I can.
So another good question that I have, what are some of the most challenging stereotypes that you deal with as an Eastern Native?
Probably the most challenging is just people in general thinking that we aren't here no more. We're not. We were conquered. We're extinct. Definitely where I work at like a convenient type store, and people are like shocked when I say like, oh, I'm Native American. They're like, really? And they kind of have that look like, oh my God, like I thought you guys were gone. It's like, no, still here. Definitely. I used to work at both museums, the 𝘱𝘱𝘳𝘠 Museum as well as the 𝘚𝘱𝘭, and it was always a good thing to change people's perspective when they would come into the museums, and they would honestly think that all the natives were gone. They were taught it in school that they came over on a boat, they conquered the natives, and that was it. They all lived peacefully, happy, hunky dory. And the moment you tell them like, no, I'm Native American, like I'm here, I'm still here, my parents lived, survived, my grandparents, and so on and so forth, and they just look at you like, oh wow, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And even to like Western natives, when they come to like the powwows, they're like, oh wow, like you guys are still here, like, you guys have a powwow. Like they're shocked by that for some reason. And it's kind of like, yeah, like even though like we were conquered first, or they came and settled here first, it doesn't mean they erased us and that they got rid of us. As soon as someone thinks of Native American, they think of a Western, not meaning anything bad by them. They definitely went through hardship and trial as well, but it's like everyone thinks of like those old cowboy and Indian movies. They think of the old, like, no, we were here. Like, they always forget about the East Coast natives, and that's usually sad, but it's like a sad truth that is slowly changing, but eventually people are gonna know that we're still here. You always have we're gonna get more like representatives that go to all these different like USEP and unity meetings. So they're finding out that we're here. There's a lot of us, a lot of good young cousins that are traveling, and they have their own YouTube page and everything. So we're definitely spreading awareness more and more.
That's excellent. I know I personally too, whenever I say I'm Narragansett, they're like, what? Where is that? I'm like, oh, it's in Rhode Island.
They're probably like, oh, off of New York, and it's like, no, Rhode Island.
Yeah, that a lot. They think it's New York, and I'm like,
they think it's New York. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I completely understand everything that you said. Completely resonates with me. I experienced all kinds of things, as I know you have. Tons and tons of comments that could really have been left unsaid, and
right.
It is what it is. As again, a minority within a minority, it's easier for us, in my opinion. It's easier for us to run into these kinds of situations, but I think the trick is learning how to deal with these kinds of situations when we are dealing with, for instance, like lateral oppression or any kind of oppression in general. It can be very frustrating, and but it can also be an opportunity as well. I
definitely can.
Yeah, like I see it as an opportunity for them to learn and for me to teach them about my culture. So that usually helps me, control my own, ideas or emotions when it comes to certain questions. And it does help for sure, because I'm like, you know what, they were just taught differently. That's all it is. It's just a difference in education and knowledge. You know what I mean? So again, I think it's just really important for us to stay strong and just address those questions as they come.
Yeah, definitely gotta try to hold all composure, because some days you want to just like come on, really? I
know it can be again, like you get surprised at what people do ask and the things that they do say. It does take me back, and like I said, it's just a difference of them not knowing anything, because look what the American school system provides. They don't provide anything of the knowledge of Eastern natives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let alone like our culture in itself, but Eastern natives,
yeah, they're like, what is that? I'm sure, like, I'm not the only one, but like a lot of people that went through like the school systems, especially like around these parts, always remember the teacher being like, and the Native Americans were gone and yada yada yada, and you're like, I'm right here. You just struggled saying my name. So what are you talking about? What do you mean? Like, you just asked me what my name meant, how do I pronounce it, where is it from, and I just told you, and now you're gonna like read your book and like, and the Native American, like, come on.
Now,
crazy.
What have you gotten for your name? Like, how many different ways have
the list goes on. It still continues. Like, I've had teachers, I've had people, like, they just chop my name up left and right. Like, I don't even, like, how, it's only 8 letters. I've had teachers think it was easier to call me 𝘋𝘢𝘳𝘺𝘭, the town, like the little like intertown in Westerly. A lot of teachers thought the college, Quinnipiac. No, not at all. Oh, Kauai, like the island in Hawaii. I'm like, no. But like, like, I'll take that. It sounds like, that's a lot better. Least worst way, when they try to like spell it with a W, they're like, 𝑊𝑢𝑎. I'm like, no, I'm not Hawaiian. Got to like middle school, the moment, like, the first day of school, and they're like reading the attendance. As soon as I heard them pause, I'm like, it's me. It's right here. Quiet. Oh, okay, because I didn't know. I'm like, I seen it all on your face. You were struggling. I was honestly nervous about high school graduation, because I was gonna be mad. Like, I was prepared to be mad. I was like, yo, if they say my name wrong, the one time I need them to say it right, like, this is the one moment I need you to practice the names. They actually swapped out teachers to say my name, because the whoever was calling it, she couldn't do it, and they swapped it out to like a teacher that knew me, and I was like, thank God, shout out, because I was about to be mad. The whole section up there was gonna come down full force. Like, don't let me have my grandmother come up here, and don't let my grandmother pronounce my name, because she's gonna add all kind of extra syllables and letters. So, and she's gonna correct you.
At least you had your moment,
I was like, thank goodness. I was so nervous, and I was like, thank God.
So, another question that I have: what would you like to see in our future for Eastern Natives?
I would like to see us come together as a whole, just like as a whole community. And I'm going like past my tribe, like all of us Eastern tribes, we gotta come together a lot better, because at this point, all of us have kids together. All of us are intertribal. We're all related. And we just gotta come together as a way better community. We gotta have a lot more gatherings. Just a lot more positive things than just a powwow, Like, powwow once a year is not enough. We need more gatherings in the fall and winter time, more things to do amongst each other.
I have to 100% agree with you there. For the gatherings, especially in the fall and winter,
Mm-hmm.
that we really need more one-on-one like interaction with one another, and to have more, I guess you could say, intimate, events for us. We really need
Like,
more circles.
definitely have like a crafting circle of some sort within tribe, like amongst, because there's a lot of crafters in each tribe.
Mm-hmm.
We all got to come together. Obviously, time is a big issue with that, because everyone has their own lives, and everyone is parenting or working, but still, we definitely got to make some time. A lot of people fall off. It's like, once summer gets, everyone's like, oh, powwows, and everyone's ready to travel, and it's like, well, let's not forget that as well in the winter.
Mm-hmm. I think, I mean, I know traditionally the winter time is something that we use as a true time of rest.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people aren't really looking to powwow at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But if we were to get something, like you said, like some kind of circle, even like maybe a retreat or something, like,
yeah. A lot of powwows do retreat, or a lot of tribes do like retreats. It's like, let's do it for those who aren't on like a committee or a council or something. Like,
yeah,
leave those behind.
Yeah, like it would be great to do, kind of almost like a medicinal leave or something, what I'm saying? Something that could help us just, mentally and spiritually, and have some kind of, again, like a retreat, and be able to get away and have a time to ourselves and really heal.
Healing isn't always just relaxing. Like, sometimes it's talking, it's venting, or telling another person what's going on. Just that community, and that just talking alone is always, it could always help somebody else.
Right. I 100% agree with that. So I don't know, maybe we can come up with some ideas and get
we got to work on that. Yeah, like there's a lot of powerful women in these tribes, and we definitely got to get together. We got to work better on getting our women heard, and and that's what we did back in the day. We definitely had like while the men were out doing whatever they were doing, you know, hunting and fishing and all that good stuff, we definitely had our own women's circles. And I know for a fact, I know the Narragansett Health Clinic, they used to do a Women's Day, and they do one now, but it's like virtual, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we should be having Women's Day throughout the year, not just once a year. It should be different times. And it should include all women of all ages, you know, teenagers, you know, you know, young adolescents, you know, that aren't quite teenagers yet, because they might be going through things that we've already been through, and they don't know how to do it. So we should definitely have something, you know what I mean? We should have a lot of different Women's Day, you know, just healing, and the men could do the same thing too, because there's definitely a lot of young guys that are going through things that they might not know how to talk about or how to express or whatever they're going through. And
Correct.
we just got to be more of a community.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I wanted to thank you for coming on here and just show your perspective and really sharing your business and your artistry. And I think that you came on. Um, so, what is your business website and what are your social media handles so that we can follow you, or maybe you might want to buy, a sweatshirt or.
Right. Right now, I have me and my cousin. We have the EasternNations.com, where you can get a T-shirt, you can get a hoodie, tumblers. We got blankets. We have sweatpants. So it is just EasternNations.com. That's where you can actually buy some of our stuff. As far as like social media, same thing. Eastern Nations. That's on Instagram and Facebook. Me myself, it is beadwork by Quai, and you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. And again, I just wanted to point out, so Ashkee is also the co-owner of Eastern Nations, right?
Yes. Yep. She does all the the digital and technical stuff, you should say. And we just basically came up with the whole Eastern Nations just because we wanted to see more Eastern Nation stuff represented. And I'm just the idea person, you know. I just come up with like, hey, this would be a good idea, you know. Let's draw this. Let's get the �々𝘬𝘀𝘀 going on there. Let's get, you know, the blanket dancer. And Ashkee, she drew all of this stuff.
Wow.
She's well talented and gifted in the in drawing. I'm not too good. I do little stick figures, so that's what I do. I'm like, hey, and I like scribble it out. I'm like, we just gotta take this and boom, and she takes it and she runs with it. So yeah, so she I don't quite remember her face, her Instagram. I want to say it is Whale River. But once you click on the Eastern Nations on Instagram, both of our pages are right there in the bio, as well as the website. So pretty simple to find. And again, everything is just spelled, you know, Eastern Nations.
Awesome.
And it's pretty simple, you know. And if anyone that buys anything, thank you. Much appreciated, and thanks for the support and love. And we will see you guys on the powwow trail somewhere. So don't be afraid. You know, we all got those red faces that we look real mean, but once you come over, we're gonna smile and say hi. So we're not that mean. We just we just look mean.
We get the scowl going, but that's just us being in deep thought, you know?
Right? We're just deep thought. We're just being stoic and sacred.
Sacred up. But yes, so thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed chatting with you, and I'm just really hoping, you know, our viewers get the best that they can get out of this, and hopefully, again, non-natives can learn something new, and even, you know, anyone, just our own natives can learn something new as well. So again, thank you so much, Quai, for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I love this.
Awesome.
It was a good time. It's always great to spread education, and again, ask a question. You know, they say there's no dumb question, but you know, there's a dumb way of asking it. So if you have a question, try to ask it nice.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that is I guess, that's another thing that could be said is if you don't be afraid of asking the question,
Yeah,
just be of what you're saying when you ask.
be mindful.
Try to be
It
that
doesn't sound right.
Yeah, like just try to put yourself in that person's shoes and be like, is this a question that I would want someone to say to me? You know what I mean? Is this something that I would want to be said to me? If, if they were asking me about, my culture or anything like
Mhm.
that. Um, I think that it would be really nice if people were more mindful and aware and more cognizant of that. Thank you, everyone, for watching The Art of Being Indigenous. I have more episodes that will be coming up pretty soon. Hopefully, I can get some more, different guests on here. But again, thank you, Quai, and thank you for watching The Art of Being Indigenous.
Thanks.